Welcome back, baseball fans, to the eliminating the Pittsburgh Pirates video. Couldn't get past the Reds again. We've seen this struggle a few times. The Reds seem to be winning this whole realignment of putting the Pirates and the Reds in one division. So far, the Pirates have not been able to break through. The Reds have got them. However, I think getting through the Pirates just takes a lot out of the Reds because they don't necessarily advance very deeply into the playoffs, but that's another story. So here's the Pirates stats. They finished at 14-14, barely limped in as the number 6 wild card, could not win the wild card game. Last year, however, the Pirates were a little bit better. They were 18-12 last year. Stennett hit .250 with 4 steals. Stargell .266, 519. Parker .301, 519. Not really good is that. Candelaria 5-3, 346. Rooker 3-4, the 5.32 ERA. Tekulve ERA of 5 and 1 save. And none of that's very good. And they went 18-12 this year, as you see. Al Oliver in his last deal with the Pirates, and actually he was a Ranger by this time, but we kept him on the Pirates for one more year, one more chance at glory in Pittsburgh. It didn't work out. Tavares probably should have played more at 328. Pops and Bill Robinson and Dave Parker, all double figures in home runs. Moreno, 18 stolen bases. I mean, Ott and Bear at the bottom, but they're expected to be at the bottom, no big deal. Candelaria pitched fine. It looks like the bullpen was underused. Gossage only had 2 saves. Tekulve, no saves. That's a lot of money invested into a bullpen. I guess that's why they shipped Rich Gossage to the Yankees at a certain point. So it's time to take a look at the Pirate stack. And here we are, and let's remove the 1977 players from it. And they still have a couple years to go with the the families of 79 could still win that World Series. They have 2 more cracks at it. Okay. So these 7 players will be, these 8 players will be leaving the Pirates and be evaluated if they want to be a keeper, waive, or retire. And that's what we do in the rest end part of this video. So what Pirates are coming back next year to right the wrongs? Looks like a bunch of hitters are coming back and just 3 pitchers. They're going to bring back not the greatest hitters either. Ott and Sangin can platoon catching. Stargell at first. Second baseman, Stennett is not here anymore. His brilliant card's over with. Harrelson can play second or short. Tavares at short. Berra at third. Tavares at short. And you bring your outfield back. Remember I said about Al Oliver? So he'd be a nice trade piece to bring in something. I mean, that's a lot of hitters. 9 hitters here. And this is all they're bringing back in the pitching staff. Look, nothing against Bruce Keyson or Buddy Solomon, but that's not World Series material right there, is it? Tekulve is a nice year, but Buddy Solomon and Keyson are only starter 6s who pitch under 200 innings. So they got to rebuild this whole thing. They got to rebuild this pitching staff. That's the mission in the off season. It's hard to blame them though. I mean, they lost the final game 3-2. And Jim Rooker did a nice job. Let's see what the Pirates do with those 77 guys in the off-season. Okay, let's take a look at the 77 cards for the Pirates. 3 hitters leave, the first of which is Craig Cusick. He was just kind of picked up as a free agent to fill out the 20-man roster. And he wasn't even associated with the Pirates. He would qualify for waivers in 78, I believe. Maybe he doesn't. With the Twins? Let's verify that. See if they made his 177 card to get him on waivers. Looking at superds.tripod.com roster sheet for the Twins. Is there a Craig Cusick here? He is there. So he qualifies for waivers, though he should be retired. But waivers is good enough for Cusick. Okay. Next up, Bill Robinson. Where do you put him at? Do you move him into left field and trade out Oliver? You know, Robinson's definitely a player for the Pirates for a little bit longer here. You see 78, 9, 80, 81, 82. So he's a Pirate. Though the year he just had, unfortunately, he won't do that again. A little disappointing. He plays till he's 40 years old. Congratulations, Bill Robinson. 862 and 11 MVP votes. Not going to do that again, but 79 and 80 are good cards. Got to keep them. Of course, they have 9 hitters already, and they might decide that if they're, they got to get this pitching figured out, as we'll get to that shortly. All right, so Rennie Stennett. This is a big loss here. Rennie's had some big strat cards in the carryover league. He's got his 1971 rookie card of 353 in the summer league, as you may have seen. His 291 again in 74, and he just keeps going. 336, this is what we're getting rid of, folks. But after 77, starts to hit her out a little bit here. If I'm the Pirates, I know he plays for them in 78 and 79, but I'd put him on waivers. I really would. We could always keep him, but I'd put him on waivers, yeah. I mean, I believe in 79 they get Phil Garner to play second base. So I would do that, because here is where they're going to make their bread and butter, the pitching. And we're going to start with Candelaria, the ace, and find if he's got another Cy Young caliber year in this timeline somewhere. So he was an all-star in 77, magnificent year. Ooh, that's going to be, oh boy. Buck 07, that's going to be tough to top. Well, he's definitely a keeper. Buck 16 and 79 will do it, probably. He's a keeper. Not going to be as good as he just was, though. Boy, man, I tell you, now the more I think about it, the Pirates really blew their chance. I mean, they had tweaked their roster to win it all this year with keeping Al Oliver on board and stuff like that, and now it's all sort of fading a little bit. They still have the family team together. All right, Jim Bibby was a Pirate from 78 to 81. So actually, we've been using his Cleveland card. So he'll actually get better. He will have to be better. He will have to be the dude here for the Pirates to carry them on their back to the promised land. Jim Bibby. Have to be him. All right, next name. This is a really curious one here. Well, we'll skip. Let's go Jim Rooker first before we do the curious name. Jim Rooker should have at least one more good year left with the Pirates. Let's take a look at it. So that was the year we just had, and actually he starts to fade a little bit too. Oh boy. Not 2 more years, ERA's above 4 both times. Oh boy. Qualifies for waivers in 78. Woo. Pirates. I'm not impressed. So now they're going to keep 3, waive 3, so they got to fix some stuff before the season starts. And here we go. Here is a big trade chip. So, Rich Gossage. I mean, you got Gossage and DeColvey. It's a waste. I mean, they don't get enough work. I know he's a Hall of Famer, but he didn't do it with the Pirates, and he was only there for that 1 year in 77. And it was a great year, and the Pirates milked that year for about 4 years. Coming out of the bullpen and with a 1.62 ERA and a .955 WHIP, but they just didn't get enough situations where they had to leave the ninth and turn it over to Gossage. He only had 4 saves in the final season. So what you really do is you make him a keeper, but then you trade him. Is what you should think of doing here. So let's make him keeper and say trade. They'll probably trade him, because if you trade this chip with the 3 keepers you have, you could then decide to take on Jim Rooker or Rennie Stennett or whoever. And lastly, Tom House. I don't think he was associated with the Pirates either. So Tom House had only 1 more year in '78 with Seattle, and it was just so-so, but they made his card with 116 innings, so he qualifies for waivers. So, look at that, no retirees. So, they have 8, basically they have 8 guys that they got to figure out what to do with them. I mean, the 4 keepers, and then you push a couple waiver guys into retirement. This is a real puzzle for the Pirates. Candelaria and Bibby are no-brainers. Gossage has to be traded. Bill Robinson, I'm keeping him. I'm just not sold on Rennie Stennett or Jim Rooker. I mean, they're fading, and the Pirates can't be fading when they got to get past the Reds. I don't know, this is tough. A lot can go on between now and the time of the draft for the 78, 79, 80, 81 Fall League of 2022. So we're a long way away from that. But right now, I'm not really crazy about what's going on with the Pittsburgh Pirates, particularly if their World Series window has 2 more years left in it, and they're not getting better. I got to justify keeping Al Oliver away from the Texas Rangers for a 2nd year. They're gonna start pounding the table. Hey, when do we get Al Oliver? Not just them either. Al Oliver also leads the league in hitting for the Expos, I think in '82. So, I mean, he has to leave the Pirates. So, Al Oliver and Rich Gossage for something big. It's got to be what the Pirates do. All right, thanks for checking out the Eliminating the Pittsburgh Pirate video. We'll see you next time.